Welcome. In this Ignitia tutorial, we will cover the three key tabs that are unique to the admin role at Ignitia, including school settings, teacher admin, and parents. We will also highlight the reports that are unique to admins. Let's start with the School Settings tab, which contains various sub-tabs used to customize how your site interacts with users. From the Messages and Display sub-tab, you can set your welcome message and message of the day. You can also choose the standards that you would like your teachers to have access to while working in the Gradebook tab. This can be a very helpful tool for aligning the Ignitia curriculum to your state standards. In the Grading, Pacing, and Assessment sub-tab, you can set the maximum amount of attempts and the percentages a student should meet in order to show mastery on lessons, quizzes, and tests. You also have the ability to block progress for students if they failed in their final attempt. This is a built-in intervention strategy that prevents them from moving forward until their teacher has manually unblocked their progress, which then promotes a conversation between teacher and student. The teacher will also receive a notification on their home screen. The Permissions sub-tab is like a circuit breaker box for your site. Turning something on here by checking the box or unchecking the box if you'd like to turn it off, you can set permissions for users on your site. A brief description of each permission is listed on the right-hand column. The Campus ID sub-tab allows you to set a specific campus ID for each of your students and staff that will give super teachers access to only students who share this campus ID. You can set multiple campus IDs for each of your teachers and students when creating or editing their individual profiles. You can also filter records using the Campus ID designation in many of the Ignitia tabs. The Archive sub-tab allows you to set grace periods for archived users and enrollments. The maximum allowable days is currently 300. At any time during the grace period that you have set for your site, you are able to bring an archived user profile back to an active status. You are also able to bring an archived enrollment back to an active status if it is completed within the grace period that's established here. From the Terms sub-tab, the admin can set default terms, or in other words, pacing schedules, for student courses. When you enroll a student into a course and select a term for the course to be completed in, the assignments within that course will be divided equally across the number of working days or school days based on the start and ending date of the term. Students will see assignment due dates from within their Learn tab. To adjust the working days in a term based on events such as holidays, prep days, weather days, and so on, go to the Calendar sub-tab and simply click the day that you'd like to remove. Click it again to undo this action. Notice that any changes to terms and the calendar will show up the day after any changes are made. Let's move next to the Teacher Admin tab, where an admin can create and manage teacher and admin accounts. There's no limit to how many admin accounts can be set up. Just remember that any change that an admin makes on the site will affect all users. So you'll want to make sure that any admins that you designate here know how to use the site and how changes that they make may affect others who are using the site as well. You can see from here when a user is online. If this icon is blue, that user is currently logged in. You can manually log this user off the site by clicking on the blue icon. To disable a user's login temporarily, check the box next to the user's name and click the Disable Login button. Notice that the status of the user is still active. More on that in just a moment. To enable it, again check the box next to the user's information and then click the Enable Login button. To edit the status of the user, click the Edit link under the Controls column. There are 3 user account statuses: active, on hold, and archived. An active user has full access to everything they have permissions for on the site, provided that their login is not disabled. An on-hold user is one that will be gone temporarily but will return. When the user returns, they are changed back to an active status. An archived user is one that will not be returning. Their account is archived and eventually removed from the site. You'll remember back when we discussed the school settings, we viewed where to set the grace periods for the archives. During the grace period, An account may return back to an active status. After the grace period expires, the account is removed from the site. You will be able to generate report data on all active, on hold, or archived accounts. Another important thing to note here is that any students that this archived teacher currently has assigned to them in Ignitia will need to be moved to another teacher of record. Therefore, none of your students will ever be left without a teacher of record in Ignitia. Additionally, you will be able to assign a role to each staff that you add to your site. The available roles include admin, who will have access to everything on the site that they have permission for, including the school settings, teacher admin, and parents tabs. A super teacher, who will have access to all students on the site, but will not have access to the school settings, teacher admin, or parents tab. And the last role, which is a teacher, who will be able to see all students that have been assigned to them, along with any permissions on the site that you allowed them access to. Let's take a look at the Parents tab, which allows an admin to set up and manage parent portal accounts. To set up a parent, click the Create Parent Profile tab. In order to create a parent profile, you will need the parent's first and last names and email address. Once the information has been entered and the student has been added, click Save. A confirmation will then be sent to the parent. After confirming their students, the parent will have access to the parent portal, which will show the student's progress and grades in courses. Last, we'll take a look at the Reports tab. Here there are 3 reports that are unique to the admin users of your Ignitia site. They are the Course Completion Breakdown Report, which will show administrators course progress for all students in each course by decimal percentage. The second is the Course Progress Monitor Report. This report will show administrators the number of students who are behind, on target, or have not yet started a course. And the third is the Track Grade Override Report, which shows changes to student assignment grades and which teacher made them. Both admins and super teachers also have access to the Faculty Progress Report, which displays teachers' daily to-dos for their students. The other 11 reports are accessible by teachers, super teachers, and admins alike. For more help and assistance with reports, the descriptions of the information found on each report can be found in the middle of the page within the Reports tab. You also have access to Ignitia resources anytime by locating the help link at the bottom of any page in Ignitia. To access this, click the help link found at the bottom of the page. From here, you have access to our technical support and customer service phone numbers. You also have access to how to contact us via email. Or you can find helpful resources 24 hours a day and 7 days a week by clicking on the Browse Resources button. This will bring you directly to our support page at aopschools.com, where you can find PDFs containing information that we discussed in this tutorial. Choose Ignitia from the left tabs and then the Support sub-tab. You'll find the PDFs in the Gray Resources tab. There are also many other tutorials available in our video tutorials section at aopschools.com. You may find these helpful as you are starting to work with Ignitia. Look for the Video Tutorials tab in order to get started in using these video tutorials. If you have further questions or would like more information, please contact technical support. Thank you for viewing this Ignitia tutorial.